Welcome to Reread. It's time to go through 3 more issues of the Marvel comic book series these are pretty good, I think. Issues 55 through 57. First off, issue 55. The Rebels set up a base on the planet of the Hujibs. This was another one that had a record and a little book to tape or whatever with it. I did not have this one as a kid, but I wanted it and couldn't get it. So for me, it's not as special. This story isn't as special, but whenever I see Hujibs, I remember that. Now, Hujibs are going to be part of the storyline for quite some time because this is where the Rebels are eventually going to hold up base. They didn't know the Hujibs were sentient species, but they can speak telepathically. And so they do that, and they say, hey, if you can help us defeat this, it's called a Slithvith. I don't know how you pronounce that, but it came from outer space and just wanted to feed on the caves, and it terrorizes the Hujibs. And they just want it out of their home cave and destroyed. So the Rebels shoot at it, but it doesn't do any good. Their blasters don't do any good. So they trick it to go back into the cave where Chewbacca pops up, grabs it by its tendrils. I don't want to think what the tendrils are. Anyway, and basically pulls him down with this enormous strength that Chewbacca has, and because this is a big, huge winged beast, and then slams him down on the sharp crystals of the cave, which are like shards that skewer him and kill him. The Hujibs have their cave back, and they ask the Rebel Alliance, hey, you can stay with us, because the crystals give off energy or whatnot, which is really what the Rebels need. So the Hujibs agree to share and finally, since fleeing from Hoth, they finally have a temporary, or maybe what they think is a real home base now for the Rebel Alliance. After that, it then goes to Lando, who arrives on Cloud City, and there is no one around. There's no one around. He runs into a malfunctioning Lobot. Something's wrong with his circuitry, and he's trying to destroy Lando. He doesn't recognize him. He thinks he's an intruder. Also, a captain has from the Empire's landed with a crew of a bomb squad because the Ugnaughts, which he was forcing into slave labor to work for the Empire to harvest the Tiberian gas or whatever, they've planted a bunch of bombs and then left. And so he needs the bomb squad to take care of those bombs. Well, one of the bombs, or a little computer that looks like a tin can on a stick, is what it looks like. That's all you see. It's sticking out of this big mega computer, and it's talking to the stormtroopers. He says, I'll help you because I don't want to die. But in reality, he does want to die. He tricks the stormtroopers into setting off the first bomb, which destroys the captain's entire guard. His entire bomb squad is gone. Meanwhile, Lando, who's been kind of running from the Empire, now sees the explosion, goes to help the Imperial captain, and agrees to help him shut off all the bombs. And so as they do that, he's also able to trap Lobot, capture him, fix his little, whatever it is, cyborg implant, to where he's talking normal again. After, Lando saved the day, because Lando always saves the day. They're sitting up on the balcony, and he's congratulating the Imperial captain. He's like, I guess we can team up for the greater good. And of course, the Imperial captain is going to betray Lando and, karate kicks him off the balcony. And that issue ends with Lando falling. Oh no! But don't worry, in issue 57, Lobot grabs a jetpack, dives in after him, saves him, and they safely land on the planet Bespin, which is kind of a marshy planet run by Ugnaughts. They eventually meet the Ugnaught King, King Oz. All hail the great King Oz. No, they don't say that, but they should have. And King Oz explains to Lando what this Imperial captain's been doing. He's been using us for slaves. And Lando goes, at first you didn't have me as, somehow Lando was their enemy at first. He said, but now I am your ally. I am so mad, So Lando's sworn that he'll get back at him. He's not going to do anything because meanwhile, Luke Skywalker has landed, didn't crash, on Cloud City with Shira, and more stormtroopers have arrived. Of course, the captain's talking. He knows who Skywalker is. He's trying to kill him. Skywalker instead uses the Force, and you hear all the bombs click back on. And then they go off, and you see explosions going off all over Cloud City, because he goes, I've triggered them, you better run now. And the Empire is just scampering back to their ships and fleeing Cloud City. And there's a bunch of smoking crater holes in Cloud City, and Lando's like, we got to get out of here. And Luke goes, no, don't do it. He said, I didn't blow up the bombs. He said, I just blew up the primers. He said, it's just, what you see is just facial damage. It's easily repaired. In fact, the repair droids are doing it right now, so I didn't blow up Cloud City. Come on, you think I was going to do that? And Shira looks at Lando and goes, you want to hit him or should I? And Lando goes, ladies first. Because, Luke didn't let him in on the little plan there. He just push. It's a good piece of art. You know, he just has his arms out and he's saying, if they're stretched out and everything, you better leave now. I've just rearmed all the bombs and they will go off. And at first when the bombs are going off, you're like, oh my gosh, Luke, what are you doing here? But everything turns out to be okay. So, you know, no problem, no harm, no foul, and everyone's safe, and Cloud City is returned back to normal. These, unlike the ones I reviewed on my last video, these are pretty fun. Obviously, I'm a little biased because I absolutely love Lando. I love Lando's stories. He's great. He's a little bit more heroic in the Marvel comic books, but other than that, it's just still the same lovable Lando. All right, folks, that's it for now. See you next time.